Hey friends, welcome back to Cooking with Nandidi. Today I'm going to show you how I make a lasagna with bechamel sauce. I'm not sure I'm saying that correctly. I've made it different ways, but today I'm making it with bechamel sauce. You want to start with the lightly oiled pan, and I'm using 80% ground beef. In addition to the ground beef, I'm going to add some hot ground Italian sausage. It came in a casing, so I'm removing the casing. I like to combine both of those type of meats to give it a more authentic Italian flavor. Yeah, and would you believe I got that packet on sale for $2.09? All right, you want to really grind up all the meat, break up that link sausage, blend it in together so it's evenly mixed together. All right, you guys know I love that W sauce, so I'm adding some Worcestershire sauce, some Tony's seasoning, Tony Chachar's Cajun seasoning, and a pinch of salt. Now that the meat is almost done, let me go on and add in some more seasoning, onion powder, all right. You see all that oil from the 80%? You don't want that. That's only going to help clog your arteries. So you want to be sure and drain your meat in a colander. All right, while the meat is draining, I'm going to saute my favorite Creole seasoning mix. Sometimes I refer to it as a Trinity, but it is a little more than a Trinity, because the Trinity is white onions, green onions, and celery. This has garlic and a few herbs with it. I add a little olive oil. I'm sorry, not olive oil, avocado oil. That's what I'm cooking with to saute those vegetables. Now I'm adding the meat in with it, giving it a good mix. Adding a little chicken broth. And by the way, I forgot to tell you, recipe is in the description part of this video. I'm adding that better than beef bouillon. It's going to give it a little more depth and flavor. And I'm using just a basic tomato and basil marinara. If you want to make your marinara sauce from scratch, do you. I'm all about time. Now I found these Italian crushed tomatoes, and they're straight from Italy. I looked at the can, and it's a product of Italy, so it's going to add that Italian pizzazz to this lasagna dish. Adding in some more seasoning. I'm just using a dried Italian herb blend, some more of my Tony Chachar's, some garlic powder, onion powder, and a pinch of salt. I'm dropping in one bay leaf and some red pepper flakes just to give it a little kick, not a lot of kick, but just a little kick. And what you want this to simmer for about 8 minutes. That didn't come out right, I'm sorry. You really want your flavors to be deep. Remove your bay leaf. And now it's time to go to the next stage. You're going to move this skillet and let it just rest. Get another skillet, and I'm going to make the bechamel sauce. I know I'm butchering that word. I'm sorry. All right, now that the butter is completely melted, you're going to slowly add in your flour. It's all-purpose flour. That's one of the key ingredients to a good bechamel sauce. And you want to make sure you whisk it. I couldn't find my whisk for some reason. My babe tends to put things up in odd places, so I couldn't put my hands on it. But you want to make sure you are working in your flour so that it doesn't clump up too much like it has here. And now what I do differently from the traditional bechamel sauce is I add chicken broth. I slowly add chicken broth, and then I add whole milk. Some people in other countries might call it sweet milk, but it's just whole milk. Adding in a little bit of salt, giving it a stir, and it's okay if it has a little bit of lumps. It's going to work itself out. I'm adding some Italian seasonings. Keep working it in, trying to work out some of those lumps. I don't want it too lumpy. So for my bechamel sauce, I use onion powder, Italian, dry herbs, salt, milk, chicken broth, butter, and flour. And you see that? That's the consistency that I like. You see how I wiped that spoon and it left that clay mark? That's what you want. I like to taste my food, so I needed to add a little bit more, just a pinch of some Cajun seasoning. I sprinkled in some Parmesan cheese, some pepperoni cheese in my bechamel sauce. Now, lightly oil. I'm using avocado oil. I'm brushing that all over the bottoms and side of my baking pan. And I think this might be a 9 by 13. I'm not sure about the size, but it's going to make a pretty large dish of lasagna. And I start with putting a ladle of the meat sauce on the bottom of the pan so that the pasta doesn't stick to the pan. I'm using pepperoni cheese, Parmesan cheese, mozzarella, white cheddar, and I found these egg lasagna noodles at H-E-B here in Texas. And that's going to make that pasta noodle taste more authentic, I've heard. So we'll see. This is my first time using the egg lasagna noodles. All right. Once you've layered your meat, then you ladle in a little bit of your bechamel sauce and work it in. Layer your cheeses. And I want to reiterate, you can use whatever cheeses you like. I'm using what I have on hand. I wish I had a little more mozzarella cheese. I have a mixture of white cheddar and mozzarella mix. But yeah. Now, once you put your cheese on and your noodles, you layer it again. So this will be the second layer. And you repeat the process. Meat sauce, bechamel sauce, then your cheeses. And you do that until you come to the top of your pan. Well, not right at the top. Maybe leave about half an inch at the top of your pan. Okay. I actually have room for another layer. So I'm going to do one more layer. And that's going to give me a nice thick lasagna. So with your final layer, you do your cheese, your meat sauce, and then you cover it with your lasagna noodles. And you see how I'm breaking that one in half because I want more lasagna noodles on the top layer. Now on your top layer, you want to make sure all of your lasagna noodles are covered. Otherwise, it's going to be kind of dry on top if you don't cover it up with the meat sauce. All right, this is the final layer. So by now you should have it down packed. It's meat sauce, bechamel sauce. Work in your bechamel sauce. And you notice my bechamel sauce is a little thick. That's going to make my lasagna nice and creamy. Layer in whatever cheeses you're using. All right, cover it with foil. Place it in the oven on 400 and let it bake for 30 minutes. Then remove it from the oven. Don't worry about the little oil there. That's most likely from the Italian sausage. And I have a little bit of cheddar cheese in my refrigerator, so I'm going to add a little bit of cheddar on top just to give it a little color. Return it back to the oven. Put it on high. And watch it for about 5 minutes to make sure that cheese is nice and melted on top. And voila. There's the final product. It looks scrumptious, right? I wish I had a little more cheese, like some mozzarella, a little more on top, but hey, I'm using what I have in this economy. I'm going to slice it for you to show you what the inside looks because I think it would be unfair to make this and you not see what the inside looks. You can see it's layered. Could have been a little higher if I had a bigger pan, but hey, it smells good. It looks good. And I'm serving it with some cauliflower and broccoli mix with some garlic toast. I'm going to go on and cut it for you. Let's see. Just so you can see. Oh my goodness. Oh, this smells so good, y'all. Make sure you let it rest. That's what I forgot to tell you. Let it rest for a good 15 minutes so that you can enjoy it and it doesn't fall apart. It's yummy. Trust me. It's yummy. Hit me up in the comments and let me know what did you think of this video. Peace.